It's been a couple months since our last episode, and a lot has happened. Miles has been deep in the trenches, raising Grayson, managing a house build from the ground up, and pushing Neighbor Media into its next phase of growth. But when life gets that full, something's gotta give. In this episode, we talk about what happens when rhythm gets disrupted and how to rebuild it when noise settles.
To the rhythm of my intuition, anything I want, I speak into existence. That's how I'm.
Okay, here we go. Episode, I don't know what episode it is. The number doesn't matter. Let's go. We're back. So let's get into it.
You've always talked about rhythm, but what happens when life throws too much at once? What did these last couple months really look like behind the scenes?
Yeah, when I think back of the last 8 weeks, maybe 10 weeks, maybe even 12, overwhelming, I think is probably the best word for it. And it was unexpected, really. Like most of the time I could see when going into like a period of intensity, but this time it kind of wasn't on my radar. I guess it's just so many new things that are happening at the same time. Really, the house being built really started to take off. Like things were really, really moving, and it just added a lot onto the plate that was unexpected. You just have to make like a lot of decisions, and it takes up a lot of mental headspace, even though I got a lot of amazing people helping along the way. So that really gets added in. And then on the Neighbor Media side of it, kind of over the summer develops, I would call it this new product that then I was sprinting towards to get launched. So going from idea to kind of concept to first version to then ironing out the details, then planning out how to execute it, then building out how to sell it, then going out onto the journey and selling it. So that added a lot. And then, of course, we're still doing all the regular business things that we do. And then, trying to be a good dad and good husband. So it was just like all at once, and is the word for it.
So between the baby, the house, and the business, where did things start slipping first?
Yeah, I don't really know when it's started slipping. And really, it's just more slipping like mentally, like not prepared for that much volume of things all at once. So I can't really pinpoint exactly what one it was. I think it was just everything at once. And then you're feeling like super, super tight. And then that's when I get like knocked out of the rhythm. And then, the routine of it all, and, going to the gym on a regular and, doing the proper things start to slip away. Like this is what we say, like the wheels start to fall off. I could feel that it was happening. And then really I just realized I'm like, oh shit, like I'm in chaos right now. And that was leading up to doing the pool season too, which I was like, okay, really there's no way out of this right now. So just white knuckle it and get through this little period. But then having the awareness that, okay, some things need to change so I can actually execute while enjoying life.
How did you know you were off rhythm? What were the signs?
It was just a feeling, but the signs were like not going to the gym. That's always like a big indicator. It's like if that's not part of the routine and rhythm of my life, like something is up, like too many things are going on. If that goes away, if I can't make 90 minutes out of the day to go do that. And then it just felt like the list of things to do was too long and everything was too urgent. So no matter how hard I worked or how much I felt like I got done, the feeling was always like I'm falling behind. And that compounds on itself. And then you start to feel like you're never going to get out of this. And then, kind of anxiousness starts to creep up too. And even though I feel like I've been training this whole year to be able to handle that better with building up the nervous system resiliency through breath work, everything starts getting like way too tight. So then you're not enjoying the process. And that is the biggest signal is if I'm not enjoying it, then what are you doing? Because, I'm a big believer in that you're designing your life. So obviously your design is wrong right now or something is up because you're not enjoying the days as much as you should.
What pulled you back? What was the moment where you said, okay, time to tighten this up again?
Yeah, it was when it was getting towards the end of kind of doing pool season part of it, where it was like, okay, I'm going to be done this part of it. Now it's time to like reset, refocus, go back to the, have the vision or plan, make the plan, then start to execute the work, right? It's like go through my own process, really kind of bucket everything out and be like, okay, how can I be able to handle this much volume? And, this is what always happens. Like you're on this journey and then there's so much on your plate and you don't feel like you can do it. But then once you take a step back to rest, reflect, and then go through the process again, you now know of how much more capacity that you'd have. And then you can kind of push forward into the next thing. So really it was rest, reflect, and repeat was the changing point.
So let's talk about that 8-week sprint. What does fresh start before the holidays look like in practice?
Yeah, so it was probably the 10 weeks prior felt like chaos, right? And let me preface this. It's all good things. You have a custom house being built. You're raising your kid. Businesses are expanding and growing and like exciting things are happening within it. Lots of opportunities are coming up. Lots of good things, but it's just like really the mentality of how to handle it all. That was what I felt was broken at that time. So then recognition of that, then kind of the rest and reset period, and then be like, okay, what's the next chapter look like to essentially close out the year, right? Like I always like to close out the year strong and build momentum going into the start of a year. And, we've seen on these episodes that I always like to do it in like periods of time. So I just looked at the calendar and I was like, okay, it's starting on this date, which I think it was October 15th or something like that, to December 15th would be 8 weeks. Sounds like a good number. Refocus, kind of pick out what you want to achieve, how you want to achieve it. I think that's like the most important part of this, right? It's like what you want to achieve, but how you want to get there in more a balanced and harmonious way, not chaos. And then set out onto the mission to execute that. And it's like a push I had the December 15th date. And then it's like, okay, go into holidays and, enjoy the holidays and close out the year.
Do you think it's possible to stay consistent through chaos, or do we need to accept the dip?
I think you need to accept the dip because it's going to be chaotic, right? That's the whole point of the chaos of it. But it's all self-inflicted, right? These are all things and decisions that I am choosing and ambitions that I have. But you're only going to see how much you can handle by doing that, right? If you're just playing at 60% or 70%, you're not going to grow. Sometimes you got to push it and play at 120% and be in the chaos. And then your ability and capacity will expand. But that you kind of reset and know that you can handle it, but now it's how do you want to feel while handling it is what the adjustment is.
So as you're building your house, raising a newborn, and scaling a company, what's one thing each of those has taught you about rhythm?
That one, you need to find integration of all the things working together, right? Have it be in harmony, not in siloed buckets. I think the only way to actually build true rhythm is to have everything working together. And the ability to context switch I think is another important thing. Raising Grayson, that's kind of one that has taught me a lot of like, just be there with him, right? Be present in those moments, not be there, but thinking about this, and this, really try to do that. Which then has taught me to apply that into all elements of it, right? So, at home time, be present and in that moment. But then in business building time, be present in that moment so you can execute at a high level. And then, the house building stuff of that, like dedicate some time focused towards that. Try not to just like jump. Kind of be more focused of what's in front of you in that moment. Which Grayson has been the big driver of that, big teacher of that. But yeah, really just having all elements of your life integrated together, working together, has been the biggest reinforcement. It's something that I always knew or learned, but it just kind of reinforces that to be true. So really just double down on that.
Looking back, was it really chaos or a different kind of growth?
It was a different kind of growth, but it was presented to me in chaos. I think chaos it like creeps up slowly and then it's like all at once. I think that's what makes it chaotic. But it's definitely a growth thing. It's like I know I have more capacity on the other side of it than I did before going through it.
If you've been in your own session of chaos, maybe you're not off rhythm. Maybe you're just in a remix. Take one thing this week and bring it back into sync. And we'll see you all next time.